Now, a really good question that I'm often asked is, what's the difference between climate change and global warming? And that's a really good question, and one I'm just going to unpick in a few seconds. But first of all, I think it's really important that we understand the difference between weather and climate, because weather are the much shorter term conditions that we experience on a day-to-day basis. If I look out of the window today, it's actually quite warm. It's about 20 degrees. And I've looked at the forecast and it's probably going to stay like that, perhaps with a bit of rain tomorrow afternoon. Now they are the weather conditions. It's what we feel on a day-to-day basis. Climate, however, is the long-term average conditions in different things we might want to measure, whether that be rainfall or temperature. So climate would be the average temperature over the last 2 or 3 decades, or maybe even centuries, or perhaps even thousands or hundreds of thousands of years ago. We can track climate conditions through time. So climate is the long-term conditions over decades, centuries, millennia. Weather is simply the conditions that we experience on a day-to-day basis. So climate change refers to those changes in the Earth's climate that take place over very long timescales. And actually, scientists have looked at the Earth's climate over some very long timescales. If we go back millions of years, we know that sometimes the Earth has been warmer, sometimes the Earth has been cooler. Even if we just look back at the past 2 million years, we know that the Earth has experienced several ice ages, and they were interspersed with warmer periods. And those changes, for example, were largely caused by the way that the Earth rotated around the Sun, because it subtly changes now and again over very long time scales, and that was enough to cause changes in the Earth's climate. There are other things that cause changes in the Earth's climate over long time scales. It might simply be changes in the reflectance of the Earth's surface, perhaps due to changes in forest cover or deserts or snow cover. Sea ice, glaciers, all of those things feed back and they affect the Earth's climate. And they're all natural processes. Even volcanic eruptions can cause cooling effects on the Earth's climate when they block out, their aerosols block out some of the sunlight. And they're kind of natural processes that tend to cause quite long-term changes in climate. And that's what we refer to as climate change, or changes in the Earth's climate. Now, global warming is a phrase that's often used to describe a very recent and rapid warming that the Earth has experienced. So if I just show a plot of temperatures over the last 120, 130 years or so, you can see here that in the 1880s and 90s and early 1900s, temperatures were below average. And in this case, the average is taken from 1951 to 1980. But from around about the 1960s, 1970s onwards, we've seen a very rapid increase in temperatures. And it's this part of the graph that we tend to refer to as global warming. Now, the reason we sometimes refer to this as global warming rather than simply climate change, although to some extent they are quite similar, is because we're pretty sure, in fact, the vast majority of scientists now agree that this rapid warming is caused by human activity. So global warming is a term that's often used to refer to this recent warming largely caused by human activity. And when I say human activity, it's largely referring to the burning of fossil fuels such as coal and gas, which releases carbon dioxide and other gases which get trapped in the Earth's atmosphere and lead to a warming effect. Now, this warming is very rapid, it's very consistent, and scientists haven't found any explanation for it that could be natural. Rather, we are very, very confident now that this warming, the thing that we refer to as global warming, is caused by human activities.